Welcome to ETHDam, to ETHDam, to ETHDam, to ETHDam, to ETHDam.
En een goeiemorgen allemaal. Goeiemorgen! Lekker, dankjewel, dankjewel. And good morning. Welcome back to ETHDam. I'm going to give good energy here in the hope that it travels through the rest of the building and it's going to be amazing. The hackathon is actually ending at 10 a.m., right? And so it actually has just finished, so I imagine everyone's just submitted their stuff. And the rest of the day is going to be absolute organized chaos in terms of people going upstairs doing the hackathon judging, then people coming here and presenting. So it's going to be a real adventure. I actually think Sunday mornings are my favorite day of ETHDam because it's all about the regulation, all about all the stuff around how regulation is getting in the way of privacy, but also should help maybe get privacy adopted. But that's always a very sketchy territory because privacy is actually necessary for institutional crypto adoption. If I'm an institution, I don't want every trade to be public on chain. In an ideal world, right? So to kick things off this morning, we have Remy from Bitvavo, who's going to be talking about retail institutional growth. And Bitvavo, I hope this is still true, but does the largest euro spot volume in Europe. Globally, or not just in Europe, globally, which I think is fucking cool. So please give it up for Remy.
Good morning, everybody. So my name is Remy van der Nagel. I head listings at Bitvavo. It's a pleasure to be here today and present to you in my hometown. I think a town that's always been known for its financial innovation and for pushing the boundaries in general. And since Bitvavo is also a native born in Amsterdam, I think it's more than fitting that we talk a little bit about the trends in Europe from Bitvavo's perspective. Bitvavo is, as JJ just said, the largest euro spot exchange in the world. That was actually going to be the key message of my speech at the very end. But now we have that out of the way. No, thank you so much, JJ. So maybe privacy at a centralized exchange, of course, not so much, but being an integral part of the Dutch crypto community, I think I love for us to play our role and support local communities. And it's been great to see what some of you are all building. And it's been a privilege just to be able to support a little bit, contribute to that. So I will share today some key insights about the European trading market from Bitvavo's perspective. We typically only talk about the Asia and the United States of America. And Europe is often overlooked. Maybe not surprising to us. We are typically a little bit slower, maybe less sexy, maybe less wild. But I'm here to tell you that maybe Europe is actually leading on some fronts in this, in the retail and institutional trading game. So in 2023, an independent study showed that global trading volume was 8 billion. And surprisingly, trading volume in Europe, spot trading volume I'm talking about, was higher in Europe than, for example, in Asia, 2.1 trillion dollars. And Europe is, of course, a very interesting market, very dynamic market. It's not like the United States, where basically you have the different states, but a lot of cohesion and harmonization among states. In Europe, every country, of course, has its local preferences. It has its local tax rules. It has, as I said, its own language, and therefore also provided with a very challenging regulatory environment. Every country, you would need to obtain a new license, for example, back in the day. So let's dive a little bit more into Europe and why actually currently there might be the perfect momentum, the perfect storm in Europe coming together for retail and institutional trading adoption. So what construes this perfect storm? So first, it's regulatory clarity. So as I said before, January of 2025, there was basically no harmonization. Every country had its own regulatory framework. It was very challenging if you wanted to enter from, well, we're created in Amsterdam, then we want to enter the Italian or the German market. You had to apply for a totally different license and maybe held yourself to totally different rules. So with the coming of MiCA, Marketing Capital Asset Regulation, that changed since January of this year. In the Netherlands, we still have a grandfathering window for 6 months, but we already see massive changes. So basically, with the introduction of this bill, Europe is the largest regulated crypto market in the world at the moment. And exactly, woo. You can probably see how that clarity is very useful for big institutions, because now for the first time they know what to expect. They know crypto is going to be around, and they can launch regulated products and not only speculate with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the likes, but also make it a vital part of their whole business strategy. So that leads, another trend in Europe is localization. So we see that if you compare this to the United States or Asia, Europeans tend to value local trusted parties over offshore parties. They like the trusted local players that understand them and their needs, and they feel close to them, let's say. So ESMA is also the European enforcing arm of the financial law, is also encouraging the localization, because they made it clear that you should prioritize, you should execute prices at the best execution possible, and they encourage to source liquidity as much as you can from local European providers. That means that a lot of liquidity is now going to stay inside of Europe, whereas previously it would go to offshore exchanges, for example. Then also, to properly localize, you need local language support, you need local payment methods, you need local support. Europeans do like the human touch from people that understand them. And all of this makes it so that Europe is a very particular market and different from the United States. Then, all of this basically leads to consolidation as well. So where it's actually maybe a shame that it gets harder, the entry barrier gets harder for smaller players, it does provide a chance for acceleration of the large trusted players to service their European consumers with compliant products. And in this way, we can also now scale. So, of course, it's a shame that maybe some innovation or like the barrier to entry gets higher. But when you have a predictable and a compliant environment, you can scale and ramp up more quickly. So, skilled, trusted platforms are best positioned to lead on liquidity and adoption. And then you could make the argument that all of this leads to mainstream enablement. We all have some. Everybody has their own idea, of course, about crypto. You can get very philosophical, ideological. But I think it is true to get the mainstream users, like real average users that have never heard about a crypto wallet, for example, or that find it very difficult to operate one, that if you have more, because of regulatory clarity and because of more institutional players coming in, deeper liquidity, more payment options, more apps, period, where crypto has been integrated, then all in all, I think this is currently what a good step towards adoption of cryptocurrency technology looks like. Then, so if we look at trading volumes, you can see that actually of all euro trading volume, 50% over 2024 has been traded at Bitvavo. So this is not only on the European market, but globally. So 50% of all spot volume took place at Bitvavo. And this is done by a study of Kaiko in 2024. So who is Bitvavo? As I said, we're an exchange, the local exchange from Amsterdam. We were born in 2018 as a broker, quickly turned it into exchange. And currently we have more than, I would say this is already getting outdated, 400 employees, 400 assets as well. And 2 million users have signed up with us. And the interesting part is that almost 80% of that during the last bull market came through word of mouth. So we haven't invested, or we tried a bunch of things in terms of advertisement, but we haven't invested a lot of money into traditional advertisement. We believe in building an easy to use product and then let people do the talking. So that leads to us being available in 27 countries at the moment. We focus on localization always. So we do integrate local language, local payment methods, etc., etc. Local tax solutions, for example. And I think this is what we understood a little bit better than some of the global players. Every country in Europe is just slightly different. And if you don't get it right, then people don't want to use you because it's annoying. So exchange volume has been over 100 billion at the moment, and we currently already have 9 billion assets under management. So then to dig just a little bit deeper, I already told you, we have at the moment already close to 400 trading pairs, and if you see that, that's more euro trading pairs than all the main competitors as well. And then it's not only that we have a lot of coins, because I personally don't care about the quantity. You care about that your coin is available. But when you care about that coin and you want to ramp on to the system or ramp off or just want to enable trading strategies, then you care about liquidity. What price do you get? Do you get the price that you expect? And then you see also that Bitvavo is leading on the euro pairs in terms of the average spread and liquidity. So we do go wide, but we also go deep into the books. So to sum it all up, crypto is expanding rapidly, and Europe is a key region, surprisingly to many people maybe from the more global scene. And I do like, I've met a bunch of you, and it's such an international crowd, so I think it's really relevant to highlight that. It's often overlooked, but because of MiCA regulation coming in, you do have a very stable and predictable environment, which can also spur growth again. And then Bitvavo is well positioned to sort of leverage this momentum and capitalize and help support all this trading volume in Europe. And also, as I said, with liquidity staying in Europe or staying more in Europe than before, I think we're perfectly positioned for this crypto storm. So, to end the talk, I would like, we didn't create this exchange all by ourselves. We rely on our liquidity partners. We rely on project teams reaching out to us and working together with us on listings. We rely on the community. We rely on builders such as yourself to keep crypto technology moving forward. And so if you like to chat with us about any of that, or you're an institution, for example, and you would like to know what we can do for institutional offering, then please reach out to us. You can actually just find us right here in Amsterdam. Our address of the office is right on the website. You can talk to me. My colleague Dorina is here as well. She will be taking part in a panel after this. And yeah, feel free to discuss anything crypto-related with us. It's just a pleasure being here and being able to support this day today.
Cool. Thanks so much, Remy. Thanks so much. Do you want to take some questions from the audience?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about this topic for the next half an hour as well, but might as well while Remy's here. One question I have for you is, what's the most exciting thing that you think is going to happen in crypto in the next 2 years? It doesn't have to be a market prediction, but is there anything that you're looking forward to?
I think I'm most excited about the increase in optimization of just user experience. So I think account abstraction stuff, of course, has been sort of clubbed to death by now in terms of the amount of panels that we've had about this. But if you can combine this sort of self-custody, but then have also the benefit of the old school custody where somebody could save you once you lose your password, that's going to be massive. That's going to then lead to a variety of new applications coming in, which hopefully makes it so that you don't even wonder how does blockchain technology exactly work. You just use it. It's just more efficient, more transparent, automated, programmable. So I think I see that happening. We see that happening over the past few years, even with the meme coin casino and speculation that did drive financial innovation or innovation in apps on certain blockchains. The rise of decentralized exchanges. Of course, I represent the centralized exchange, but I'm really excited about the future of decentralized trading as well. We'll have to see how that develops. There's been some attacks on, for example, Hyperliquid, and you see some centralized elements kicking in immediately. But then they've, sort of fixed that. So if you get that, and we can truly get sort of decentralized trading at scale, at speed, that's super exciting for me as well. I think Bitvavo is just here to help build the best retail trading platform that we can be. And we will leave all the super exciting decentralized apps up to the decentralized side of the community.
Yeah, and that's fair. And the reality is most users start their journey through a centralized exchange or some form of centralized service.
As long as we still have the euro and the dollar, we need to somehow get into the, system.
TBD, dude, TBD. So let's start at the top. Do you see crypto being actually used in the Netherlands at the moment? Any use cases you see?
I imagine. So it's not like you can buy your bread at the bakery.
That really annoys me, actually.
Well, you see the rise in crypto payment cards, of course. So you can argue that it's using crypto. I see. You don't see it like day to day as much, but I see a lot of again financial innovation behind the screen. So you have the traditional banks and you have the big market making firms, all looking into crypto, diversifying their strategies, getting into DeFi, market making in DeFi. Improving money flows. You see stablecoin adoption going up. I think the United States will play the biggest role in that for now, but you see a bunch of new stablecoins coming up, compliant stablecoins in Europe as well. So in that sense, I do see crypto adoption happening, although it's not yet at the stage where it's in our everyday life. But probably by the time it is in our everyday life, you don't realize anymore that it's even crypto. You'll just call it money or community money, something else like that. But
that would be the goal. That would be the goal. This random question from me is, if with real-world assets becoming a thing, will Bitvavo potentially be listing those, like RWA stuff in the future?
Yeah, so I cannot disclose too much about what we'll do in the future. For now, we are not too focused on that. Also, I have to say on a personal note, I do very much dislike the whole RWA label. It's just, I get it gets marketing, it gets traction, but yeah, we've had Ethereum since 2016 now, and you can perfectly well tokenize stuff in an Ethereum smart contract. Then what is an RWA blockchain? Is it more like, do we need extra privacy features or extra speed? We always need more speed. We always need it to be cheaper. So this whole RWA thing has been a personal nuisance to me. But of course, it is one of the most, tokenization is one of the most interesting use cases of crypto in general. So we will see, I think it's early still. Everybody's trying. I think some other exchanges recently announced that they will offer some tokenized stocks, but I don't know. That's not in a legal framework yet. Yeah. So the regulatory framework has to catch up. And actually, people also still have to start caring. They don't see the benefits yet. Like we see it, of course, but like mainstream people. So I think it might be 5 and even 10 years, but probably 5 years with the current speed. I see that becoming a bigger thing, and then, as I said, Bitvavo will focus on being the best retail trading platform we can be. So if it's a big thing, we'll definitely support it.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. The next question, and I hope you can comment on this, it says, how do you personally feel about KYC and travel rule and stuff like that? You can say pass.
I will say that I came into crypto very early 2017. I think we've all, once you enter crypto, there's so many rabbit holes to get into, history and money and psychology and economic behavior, and you grow. And definitely my mindset back then was more of a anti-establishment, anti the banks. We just, with the financial crisis in the back of our heads. So I thought, here's a system truly for the people, by the people, and that means ultimate privacy. So that's always good, I think. But also no KYC, and we don't need the governments. But I have personally been on a journey over the last 8 years, and when something bad happens to you, and there's nobody that can help you, it's because nobody understands this stuff, and you're all doing this all by yourself. So the police isn't aware, regulators aren't aware, nobody can help you. And I think for some people that's fine, but we live in a society together, and we build a lot of things together that I think benefits the community. And if you want to be part of that society, you have to go into a constructive dialogue with your regulators. And you have to, true adoption looks like this, I think. You put some water with the wine. I think we do want to stop crime as much as we can. It's a slippery slope, trying to stop all crime and then eliminating all privacy. So I am concerned about it. But so I think this in this society, I think this is roughly how it needs to go. And then if you feel like, hey, that's not for me, nowadays we have more and more the freedom to move all over the world. Jobs can be on the laptop, and you can go to certain countries where they think where it fits your values and norms a bit better. And if you wouldn't like to do KYC, etc. So I think that's my nuanced answer here.
Completely fair. I'm going to comment on it in a second. Last question that I'll ask, and the other question you can find Remy in private. Is Bitvavo planning to release a payment card? Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Cannot disclose it to me.
No comment, no comment. Okay, well, completely fair. Find Remy in private. Really appreciate you taking the time this morning, Remy. It's been an absolute pleasure. Please give a round of applause to Remy from Bitvavo.